Well, basically, this is very interesting turn of affairs for Russia. Yesterday they were asking the Secretary General's involvement in a failed resolution to come up with a mandate for a chemical weapons inspection for the OPCW in Syria. That didn't go through. So now he's asking for the Secretary General's opinion at a meeting tomorrow morning, we are told right now, to assess the situation as to what a military threat is going to be in Syria. And so it's almost as if the Russian ambassador is looking for Antonio Gutierrez to almost run interference. But of course, if the Secretary General does go along with this, and we haven't gotten confirmation on that, he's going to be going into the Security Council and telling everybody, of course, indeed, we want to avert any kind of military action. And there's a diplomatic solution to this whole thing, which they haven't been able to come to yet. And the other thing is that, Russia has, and along with Bolivia, one of the other members of the Council, has been trying to throw up a lot of, smoke screens in debating forms of rhetoric by Mr. Trump, and saying that, look, this rhetoric is a threat. We perceive it as a threat, and as you played in the soundbite just before we came to air, he's talking about violations of the UN Charter, and that is like Article 51, which is threats to international peace and security, but also the right of collective self-defense. But that is one of the things that we have to keep in mind here as to how that is interpreted.
I'm interested, you're talking about the UN Charter. Is there wiggle room, I guess you could say, in that Charter for the US and others to take military action?
Yeah, well, specifically, this Article 51 is one of the articles that talks about the right of collective self-defense when there's a perceived threat, and there's also Articles 41 and 42, which were employed at the beginning of the Iraq War, which was to maintain international peace and security when there's a situation that warrants it. So there are the three articles which the U.S. can, and the allies, of course, can use to maneuver to try to claim, well, this is why we are taking action. And, last year at this time, Mr. Trump did exactly that. He did conduct a missile strike. So, they are taking it very, very seriously. But here's something you really have to be mindful of. The OPCW inspectors are on their way to Syria. They're supposed to arrive later today and tomorrow and start their work on Saturday. And, off camera, outside the council, people are talking about the fact that, well, they make very convenient human shields for the Russians and the Syrians.